Hello, James here. I'm just going to make a video before I probably gonna head out today. I'm going to probably upload this later on. I'm going to talk topic that one of the topics that is going lately, and I'll make it in this from a previous video, and it's about the abortion. And this time, I'm going to tell it why black people should want to be pro-life. When you look, there have been stories, and it's true. This is a fact that there was a woman that her name was Margaret Sanger, and even though, despite some people's belief that it was supposed to be for women's health, but it was for people's annihilation. But it was disguised as a woman's health. Now, these people who are protesting on this topic of abortion have no clue what the founding person who was aborted children, what was the purpose and the premise of it. The whole purpose and the premise of it, when this abortion started happening, a lot of people don't really make sense of what's really going on. If you abort children, your population for the next 20, 30 years is going to affect it in a way of it's going to reduce schools. Schools going to affect the taxes. Taxes is going to affect the family structure on how many children, because there's a children tax credit. So by you having children, you get a tax credit. The government right on your IRS taxes. That's number one. Number two is that, and this could be anybody who wants to do abortion, but I'm particularly addressing this to black people. The reason why it played in your favor, so your populations can rise, because you have other groups of people who mostly have an idea they're not going to abort their children because they see the future of the population grow. As the population grows, when they get of age, it's a tax status. Then it comes to be a tax status to become a voting status, because they'll be a mature teenage, soon to be a young adult, to vote and make decisions. The whole premise is about it that years ago, this wasn't about so-called women's rights. It started out that way, but this woman, Margaret Sanger, who is the founder of Planned Parenthood, basically, when she started annihilating, lit by a woman's choice to annihilate the life is in the womb, the first thing that she did was it was a philosophy. There are going to be more of us than more of them. You have young black women today on the process of line of my choice and my body. Here's the thing about it is, if your mama, your grandma would abort you during the time of Margaret Sanger, you wouldn't be in existence. Or it would abort your father or your brother or your uncles, you wouldn't be in existence. You would have them, because this woman, that was her, is to bring down the population of black people, for number one. And how can you be proud to be a black woman and be proud of who you are when the family structure of you it centers around? Let's say this is how the way the Most High God, which some of you believe and some of you don't believe, how the way a family is set up in the world. Let's say that your mother and father had you first. Your father was the seed that planted in your mother for you to be here. Then, if you're smart enough, you turn around. Maybe the seed you have could be a boy or a girl. So it carries on to another generation. The next thing you know, when something medically comes along, they can trace your bloodline. They can trace your background. Number two thing, your lineage live forever, like every other nationality, race of people. You have a genetic, you have a purpose, you have a plan as a people, that God designed you in the earth. But you have so much hatred, and some of these women have so much hatred for their own kind, because that's the only way I can see it, by choice. You hate that much yourself. Number two thing, if you decide to get abortion and some dude laying up to you, not only that one day you will be held accountable and you will suffer the consequences and curses that come upon your body, but yet that man stands in agreement with you aborting your baby, he's going to suffer the consequences too. Because, this come out of the book of Genesis. Because at the time when Adam fall, as I said, not only the woman who had to give birth painfully, because it's described about 10 times in the Bible, that God, even though it was a painful, he never intended for Eve to suffer that type of birth, but because of disobedience, she suffered, and Adam had to pay the price. That's why there were people that can live, before Adam, they can live about 900 some years. But God allowed that to drop down to 100 something years, a span of a lifetime. See, people don't take account of this. And so birthing, even though they birth to make a race of people, good and bad, and you know the story about their children and everything, and what ends out. But this is where we are today. Now, if Eve would have listened to that serpent, then why don't you go ahead and abort your kid? Who knows where we'd have been at today? Some of these protesters don't even see this. Imagine somebody in their generation, their family would abort them because, it's my body, it's my choice. But what about the baby's choice? What about the life that was supposed to come into the earth that has a plan and purpose? God, maybe there was a baby in the midst wanting to come into the earth, but they don't think about that. They don't think about whatever turns around. That baby has a destiny that's in the earth. And black people, same as with your children. You hate, and some of you, maybe you hate your skin. I don't know maybe it's the men that you come across, or whatever. But when you sit down and analyze and think about it, like any other race of woman, of people, you're going to be held accountable. It was held accountable when they sacrificed their children. And then the reason why I use the scriptures, because this is what they did. The reason why people use the Bible scripture, because this is what they so-called, they were blind with their vision and thinking that I don't have to get responsibility if we birth a child. But if we birth a child, we're going to sacrifice it and throw it into the fire, and so that we gain more wealth. And a screaming baby goes into some altar and burn it there with screams of horrible scream, like agonizing pain, to the point that the baby is burnt to death. But the worst thing about it is that the baby is killed in the womb and is slaughtered to death. It's vacuumed to death. And some of these people that want to protest this, you'll give a damn, you'll get high rage about a puppy or a dog, but you the same person don't even have the heart of love, that love life. Without human existence, how can a country flourish? How can a country stand when your population is dwindling? Right now, in countries like Finland, the population has reduced because couples stop having children. when the couple stop having children, it affects the economy. Yes, there's some pluses and things of having children. That's the blessing of having children, because children provides an economy. It provides a blessing. That's why they're a blessing. That you can teach the next generation, next generation, because the innovators are being raised. Raised something that maybe you didn't innovate, but maybe your child, maybe that future child could contribute something that's in the planet, that's is still in them. Since the time and when they come into when the Most High develop their gift, that's when it comes out. And next thing you know, you birthing out a genius. You birthing out an innovator. You birthing out people that can solve a problem. This is the truth. Someone need to hear this message. So this is why this ain't about some violating a woman's rights. Women have rights here. Women have medical rights, OB/GYN. But what about the unborn's rights? That's what, and I agree with some of the politicians. What about the unborn? What about the future? Because see, maybe those politicians are seeing what the future of what the other leaders that they met, leaders and talk. What was the cost to them, and what cost down the line? What cost them in effect in the areas of state? What affects the area of the government? What affects the area of the population? What is going to happen? But you got a bunch of angry people going around threatening the justice of threatening the official because you can't get your doggone way. And somebody got to speak the truth to this. You have people that's so caught up in their emotion, but they don't have the vision to see what's going on. They don't see what's going to come up over the next years. But you so butthurt about your feelings because it's something women. Now you got women out there that want to have children, that thinks and there's something with their body. Again, this thing, all women can't have children. There are some women who are genetically, physically can never have a child, that want a child. And the women who want children that can't have a children, it could be something medically was wrong with them. You have women out there that are probably married, they have to adopt a child. And even though they love to adopt a baby or whatever, thank God for the people that do adopt the children. But it's not like they want something of their own, because whether you're male or female, you know your lineage should go on. You see your seed that's in you. You see your nature that's in your child. Every person, every walks of life see this. Why would you want to destroy something that is your lineage that's going to represent you in the future? Your kids, and God live, you see your grandkids and you see your lineage carry out their destiny. All these young women and young men are butthurt over something. Ain't nobody denying no woman of no rights, medical birth rights in here. You act like we live. These people act like we live in a totalitarian society where you ain't got no choice. So women can have just about anything they have in this country than any other country on the planet. But someone has to speak for the unborn that's coming into the planet, that's coming through her womb. And this thing about this about rape and incest. Where's the record? Even though rape and incest does happen, but sometimes the trauma of the rape, the trauma of the situation can even hinder itself from taking progress. Because of anything, sexual assault can alleviate the problem, and it's him that can alleviate the problem. That if that baby is traumatized, he may not let it come into the planet, but at least, but if it does, it has a purpose. Now, even though some people don't want to, it is a horrific act, but something out of horrific can turn out to be something. Can turn into a blessing. Now I know that's controversial, but there have been people that's even in the Bible. Oh, that's a horrific situation, but it turned out to be a blessing. That person can turn out to be the next person that, even though the way they were brought into this world was on bad circumstances, and God can heal the woman because He know the woman know what that trauma did to that woman. The Most High can heal that woman emotionally, mentally, physically from that situation. Even when you are a child, He can fix a situation. He can touch you in a way. If we dare to believe that He can do it, and we dare to believe, but people are so cowardly that we just want to alleviate the problem. We want to alleviate the problem, and there has been evidence and proof that there have been women out there who died having abortions. There's no sick. There have been women that years later have picked up some kind of medical condition, something severe, whether it's something with cancer that has something that released in the bloodstream that affected because it's a past abortion, something that can later on affect the breast, something can affect their lower half because of an abortion. But some people don't want to think about it that way, and it has come back. And it could be one of the reasons why, because of the symptoms of it, or because you are traumatizing the inside of a woman's inside of her body, and that trauma never goes away. See, some people don't think about that, and it takes the Most High God to reveal what is the consequences when it's happened. And simply, whatever happened since the beginning of time, contraceptives, and men need to wear freaking condoms. I mean, there were times I had sexual relationships outside of marriage, but even not really understanding the full understanding like I do now, I had sense enough to wear a condom, because number one, if something be released, if I had to wear 2 condoms, if one slipped off, I have another one. Well, it don't feel the same. It's either that, or you got to deal with, okay, now this person, you brought a life into the world. Now you got some men that complain about they got to pay child support with the woman that they never really had feelings, they had no love, no attachment with. So next thing you know, it's filtered down. It's put her in the position that she's emotionally unstable. She wants to go and kill the baby, kill an innocent child. So to do all that, since you don't want a child, why don't you do what they've been telling you before? You don't have to do with the abortion. Just practice safe sex. And even though one good thing about it is one thing having sexual relationship, not into an intimate partnership with someone who's going to be your life partner or your spouse, whatever, is one thing. That's one thing. But you have sexual relationship, then it produces a life. Then you two agree that you're gonna end the life. So you have an abortion. Don't you think that it's going? And you never ask the Most High God for forgiving for taking that innocent life. Guess what is going to happen between you and that person that is responsible? You will be held accountable for it because of the decisions that you make. And this, if a young woman ever listens to this video, or a young man, it's going to come on you, because if you old enough to play the game, man, you should be old enough. You should be old enough to understand. Then if you want to play adult and play responsibility, I mean, all of us been through that time where some of us didn't get married and we thought it was cool just to mess around. Someone go up late night to a club and a bar and we meet up with somebody, or however it's happened, or however you met your bed buddies. But if you're gonna play bed buddies, be responsible. But don't end the life of somebody. But if it happens, I mean, it is one of the things. But don't. But if two adults agreed to lay down in the bedroom, they should at least be responsible and produce a life. It was your responsibility, whether you're the man or the woman, to wear to contracept that. It's the man's fault as far as wearing a condom, and whatever the woman's fault to deal with the medication was still with the thing that would cut it off completely. At least that's one thing. And like I said, there are countries right now that the population is dropping. When the population drops, it affects the economy. It affects everything. This is why the people, some people, I believe this among the Republicans, because men have had, and people, they probably, and women have studied this, and they see where the country is going in the future. They see that it can end up like Finland and other places in the world where you have all these men and you have not enough women to procreate with them. And this is the truth. It was one country, and there was a segment, I believe it was on Vice TV. It was a village in India. This is no lie. They did this over a 40-year period. It was custom for them to abort the female child. So when they were having babies in this part of India, all it was nothing but boys. Boys is one day gonna be men. Now this is the crazy part. Now in India and like other places on the world, they want to have a woman that married into their own tribe. But it was the woman who was OB-GYN had to tell these men, if you let these women make these women abort their women, you ain't gonna have no future wife. So there were men that all most of the women were gone out the village, and the men who do, there are a group of men in other parts of the world. This is no joke, that they didn't have enough women to continue the life cycle of bringing children. So because it was something what the man said, I want a son to carry my name. But what they did ignorantly was we eliminate the daughter. But instead of just thinking that, okay, even though they had a daughter, one day if she decides she gets a female mature age, the blessing can come around that she can have, and they can have a grandson. Because sometimes the Most High God can do that. A man can have a daughter. The daughter grows up, and if she finds the boyfriend or husband, a future husband, she conceives a child. Bam! It can come right back to being a son again. Then he grows up and could be a daughter in that bloodline, and that lineage still goes on. It's been like that since the beginning of the Bible. But the men didn't have no understanding by eliminating the girls. China did the same thing. China did the same thing about one child law. They cut the population down, and in certain parts, there was too many. It was so many men, and they outnumbered the women. In the next 30, 40 years. So when them men came of age, they got to go find a woman in which some people are very traditional about keeping their lineage, their name, their ethnic background, and their culture. They don't want to leave their village. They don't want to leave nothing to go to another nation's or race. And when I bring it back to black people, it comes back to you. The same black women are doing this. The same black women would be sitting up there playing black. There ain't enough black men. If there ain't enough black men, that's because they been aborted. Because they've been murdered. In the next 30 years ago, they were, and 40, 50 years ago, the men, some there were more black men, more black women they were murdered in the womb before they came into existence in this earth. Then you have a person like a Marcus Sanger, who's supposed to be for women's health, basically on the premise of that went down and went down with a purpose, and this is documented. that she targeted the black church, and the black church allowed her to come in there and extinct from I believe from that time the population dropped off over 30 years. This one was a eugenist. And your Hillary Clintons and your Elizabeth Warren and some of these other people, they co-signed with it. Black women who was in the Democratic Party, they're not your friends. Anybody that was so kind with it, they're not your friends. They want to see you eliminate off the earth. You can say you don't need to kill some of your boys because we all women here. You understand what I'm saying? You got to have the men to carry the lineage. That's a fact. That's even every society. When you have a culture of beta men, and every culture understands this on the planet. Every culture understands you don't eliminate the seed because every people of every different language know if the population drops, it affects the lineage, it affects the economy, and it affects so many different areas. Even birthing babies, bringing another generation brings identity. It brings destiny to them. You have people who don't even understand it, but the same woman who did this, who was applying for y'all fighting across, these people fighting across, that's what it was based on eugenics. And you have black people and other people. This woman wanted to take you out. She wasn't about just no women. She wasn't just about women. She was about annihilation. But it was just used as an excuse. As it was a medical problem. This has to tell the truth. And there's plenty of information out there that the back what I'm saying up. She was there, black people, she was there to take you out. But that's just for the boys. They ain't for black girl power. No, she didn't give a shit about black girl power. She didn't give a shit about black woman power. She would eliminate the male and the female because the population dropping. Just like the way it was in the Bible. Just like the way you eliminate. How do you kill the Hebrew boys? You kill the Hebrew boys. One thing you killing the men. You will have no enough men to carry the lineage. And how can you cry as a black female to be a part of one of the best civilizations on the planet? God forms you out of the civilization. And you're gonna join up with your army because you don't know how the women that's doing it don't have no identity who they are. A lot of them don't even know who they are. You let the society dictate to you who you are. This is a fact. Because you blonde hair, blue eye, and they taught you to hate your own men. One of your own men can turn around, even if they acting a nut, can turn around. God can turn their mind and make them to an idiot into a king. Because no man was birthed into ideology. All men came with some kind of dysfunction or some off-brand different household. But some people who start out a right path can turn into a wrong path. But you were taught to hate your own men. So when you hate your own men, you hate your own sons. You hate your own sons, you hate your uncles. You hate your uncles, you hate your cousins. You hate the men that make up who your family unit are. God put you in the family unit design, just like every other nationality on this planet. And you stupid to sit up and be bamboozled because you go along with a racist eugenic system. And that's what it was. You cannot love black men, black boys, and you want to see them destroying the woman. It's oxymoron. It'd be the same way for black men. We say about black. You cannot black women. You can't love black girls or black girls that's going to be come from the life of the woman that's going to be a female. That's just oxymoron. And then they base it off of medical help. And if you don't, and if anything come to worst, if you can't handle baby, give it to someone like a big mama, because you got some older black women that will take care of that baby and understand the vision of what she came to do. There's a lot of people that that will raise and nurture that baby, boy or girl. But the whole purpose was about it was to take you out. That was the whole purpose about black. And you got black people going and letting this abortion. And in some of these black churches, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you supporting the party that's stand behind it. You should shame. You revealing who you really are. And God's gonna hold you accountable for and some of these people don't stand up because you can't be for Christ. You can't be for the one who let the babies come out of the kingdom because you want to give it to this weakness, this sorrowness. Oh, it's women being oppressed. Women are not being oppressed here. Trust me. Go to Afghanistan right now. Women being oppressed over there. Go to Russia right now. Women might be being oppressed over there, but there ain't no women being oppressed over here. No, I can't let you do that. Because as a man, you're gonna be responsible. Why didn't you speak up as a man to protect that? I'll give you a seed for you to protecting your womb. As men, you're gonna be held accountable for it. You can't do what Adam did. That's just the woman. You have to stand up as a man. You're gonna have to stand up as a man. Not just like that woman. You're gonna be held accountable as the man. God's gonna hold you accountable, just like He's gonna hold her accountable for the murder of that baby. And it's murder. I don't care what they say in this planet. It's murder. It's murder. By any means, it's just no matter. You sit down there and somebody will walk to a preschool like an Adam Lanza did and shot 20, 30 them kids. It's the same thing. You killed the future. You killed the destiny. You no different than what he did. And someone going to school and eliminate some young babies to kids. You ain't no different than what did because you did it outside the womb. You did it outside the womb. And you just as a murder. Murder is Ted Bundy. Exactly. Bet. That's what you do. But you okay with the medical processor and you got a country. It's okay with that. Because it's technically what them doctors and the nurses are doing are murdering babies. In the eyes of the Most High God. That's murder. Because life was about to sustain. That's why they had to make up the law and put it in the law. I'm coming at you because I said you was the target race. You was the target. They don't like you. And even there was a quote about Malcolm X said that no matter if it's the conservative, but they had to come in compliance. These Negroes are going to do that. And you know what they'll justify do? They'll use crime. You know, you see these young black boys, and they'll put that on you. Young black men, they'll put that on you. Well, we can't have these scandals. This is the same blueprint that Margaret Sanger did. You got these young black girls. And this is exactly what she did. And even though sometimes some young people make a decision to have children, but it can be a big mama that can come around them and love that baby, even if that girl's not mature or that boy's not mature enough. There's somebody who will raise that baby in the black community. There's somebody in the black community that will raise babies. Guarantee you like that. There's somebody that will step up to the plate. There's some older woman that been like since the beginning of time have always raised children from the neighborhood. There's always been some black women like out there like that took care of the unwanted children when they were abused, when they were not fed. There's somebody that will make a way. We are people that have made a way. There's somebody among our race of people have always made a way. You have grandmothers that have 10, 15 different, and took care of all 10, 15 different children. And granddad, it took care of 10, 15 different children. And they didn't like that. So they tried to do a solution. You have your markers. Because they knew that some women was a certain part, black, there's certain women, like other women or other races of women, were very fertile. But when they saw the population was rising, they had to think, they had to get think wisely. So how can we, because these black people going outbirth us. And so this evil woman and like other people like her, so you carrying out, so it's turned into liberal, so-called liberal left-wing stuff. So your liberal left wing wants to see you been taken out, take the future of your babies out, but at the same time saying they equal, they friends with you, they out there protesting with you. They don't give a damn about George Floyd. They don't give a damn about that. They come there. That's because I said even among the time when these demonstrations was, they were some of them your liberal so-called friends were sitting up there purposely setting up bricks. So to get the cops to shoot black people. Because when at the time of protest and the black people, there were black people were out there wouldn't think about throwing a brick or destroying their property, but someone had agitated. Someone agitated. I'm telling you, some people are not your friends, and they want to see you destroyed. And it's the men, and it's the some people, men and older black men in the community. They can see right through that stuff. Excuse me for 1 minute. Sorry, I didn't really have my shirt. Yeah, but to get back to what I was saying. Yeah, so you anticipating in the death of your race. And no one is sitting around and really thinking logically about this. You're not thinking with logic. And so, and there's some person who was white that try to tell you this. You think they being racist. Hold on a minute. Hello? All right, I have life insurance, thank you. No, I gotta go. Thank you. But anyway, like I was saying. So for black people, this is for you. This is something that's coming up, and they manipulate. They control you. They're controlling your emotions. But this is about population. And these other people, they're not going to push this agenda on them. It was really geared towards you. To play on you and play on the women, some of your women who have a weak mind. And again, it can turn back around that you can end up suffering the cost. And if you might be a young person, may not see this right now, but one day when you get to a certain point in your life, you'll see. You see what the words I'm saying is right. You see what I'm telling you is correct. And others, I'm not the only person out here is telling you this. They want that. This is about population since the beginning of time. And they start with black people first, then they kind of work down to the dark. Then they try to find the dark and enlightened ones of Hispanics. That'd be the second thing they do. Then they go down to the other group of people. Then the last people they get on this is they go after the poor white. Yes, but they always start with black people. That's what it was basically geared for. That's how Margaret Sanger designed it. That's what she did that many years ago. And it was under the delusion of a medical procedure for women. Not that there's not women out there that have been sexually assaulted, but they're not getting They're not getting aborted, having pregnant at a high rate out of rape or incest. It's not at a high rate to the cause of someone all over the place to start getting an excuse. Now somebody can go out there and fool around outside of a union or relationship, one night stand. The guy don't want the baby, and the girl get emotionally traumatized and says, "Okay, then I'll just go ahead and abort the child." Like it's nothing. And you abort in the future. You don't know what that baby could have turned out to be. That's the sad part. You're aborting someone's destiny that had a purpose in the planet. And maybe the circumstances, the dad may not have been there, but that boy, that girl could turn out to be something awesome. And you're willing to kill it. You might as well say, "Yeah, I'm pro-life." You doggone right. I'm pro-life because the kingdom of God is pro-life. I'm pro-life because what is right. And I hope my years are blessed by me saying this on this earth, because it's a reality. There's the consequences. When you sit up there and you sit up there in agreements to destroy life, you destroy destruction of your society. You're in agreement with it. You're in agreement with the population. And you look different places around the world. If you don't believe me, it's out there. There's a video on Vice, and there's one station and they did a segment of this. These are places around the world, reduced population. They were reduced. And they didn't have enough women. So when the men got of age, they could not find a woman, and it was tradition because there's no women in so they had to go to another village. They had to go to another part of India, and they got certain. This is a fact. This China, like I said, China did the same thing, and it's probably other places, even in Africa, they try to push this on. The population reduced. South America, they try to do this on. The population reduced. And then they end up like certain indigenous people. Where are the original indigenous people? Hell, they done wiped them off the planet. Until you find someone who's mixed in with, who have blood DNA next to this person. This is true. And it's not because of the cycle of people stop having relationships or not have children at all. Stop the civilization of that society. That's why. Well, there's some people that can be in alternative relationships, but it doesn't produce life. I'm sorry, it doesn't produce life. You can artificiate it, make it blend in, make it mix, but it doesn't produce life. It's not the same. It's not the same when you have a family that look like they blended in together. Even if they were mixed in with another nationality, there's a part of them. Well, if it's man and woman to couple up together, you will see the traits of that. And that's been proven since the test of time. And people don't want to tell you this. So, just because you don't agree with something in this country, some people really need to think about it before they go out there and protest. And there's certain things that's like, if you really sit down and analyze this, and people will get out of their emotions and think, why is some of these politicians doing that? Because some of them understand the future. They understand, they see things that you don't see things for various reasons. They don't want to see. In reality, I think if you had more white people dropping off, the politicians who are white, don't you think that would affect them? I'm just saying. That's really reason why they say, "Oh, wait a minute, you mean your lineage is gonna stop?" That's why they understood that the white population is gonna stop. You had a different population growing in. That's one of the reasons why too. But this is supposed to go on the descendants of the slaves. That's what it was intended to do. That's what Margaret Sanger and other people intended for it to go towards them, to reduce make the 14% of the black population down to 0 to 5% in different ways. You know, whether it's through murdering each other, or going into an alternative lifestyle, but reduce that population by any means necessary. Black people was one of the nationalities that is targeted for that, and you have black people who's agreeing with that, and they don't see the picture that if they would have done this, somebody in their family could have had to abort them. Those same ones stepped in agreement with pro-choice. You could have been that pro-choice. That's a fact. And that's the truth. Because she targeted the Negro race. Look at there's photos out there of her going to black churches across this country to target the Negro race. On the premise of our young girls get promiscuous, so we can't have them being promiscuous. We can't have them with these feelings at all. She tried to play God. That's what it was. That woman's probably in the deepest part of hell. Hell can't even imagine. No one on this planet can imagine, because she designed it that way. She went against the Most High, and she tried to play God in this earth. And me people like her are going to go to the pit of hell. Guarantee you, because you opposing the destiny of what He releases out of that kingdom. No matter how the circumstance it is, no man, no woman has a right of any race, religion, background to tell another human being, you don't, that this should be this for this on this particular people. They don't do as we do. We starve them out. If they don't do this, we take them out in different ways. And guess what? There's a price to pay. There's going to be a price to pay, and anybody playing this annihilation, eugenics in the 21st century, it's going to be at the price to pay, and they're going to pay the price. Because whatever you do on a global scale or on a local scale is coming to you. Because God do not play with no favorites when it comes to something like that. And you cannot, you might think that the God of this world can bless you with you. We know who the God of this world. It ain't the God that sent His Son. It ain't the God that produced life out there. It ain't the God that set up the skies. He ain't into that eugenic stuff. He ain't just, well, He's for us but not for them. So we psychologically want to take them. We'll think them that they're equal, but we really don't want them, because if we have them, then we have to accept them that they are with us, and we don't want to give them that oppression. See, and this is why the individuals who think like this are going to suffer the worst in their lineage. Their lineage is going to suffer because of the consequences that they paid. So they can try to eradicate it, deny it, write out history, but if they doing this behind closed doors, God is going to expose it in it, going to expose the whole thing, that all mankind, people that even look like them, what was their intentions was. So you stand in agreement with that, you in trouble, buddy. You're in trouble. So this is what it's about. It's about preservation on a different level. I'm not talking about all people. To some people, it is, but this is at a whole different level. But it had to be for the Most High to say, put it on these people's heart to pass this law, there would be, and they don't pass this law, this country's going to suffer in the next 20, 30 years. You think it's bad now? You think it's homelessness now? You think the plagues are worse now? You think that some of the things you think it's rough. It's going to be even rougher if they don't pass this law. Because the God of heaven and earth ain't playing. He's not playing. And some of these people who are basically devils, that's demonic. They really trying to, it's almost like they're fulfilling Satan, who is the devil's performance, stop the population. Indoctrinate the population of what he's going to do is rebel and redirect and rebel against what is moral and what is ordained and what is esteemed. So this is going to happen. Don't let these people get you food. Someone has to speak the truth in this. And I had to direct this at black people. It's not about women's health. It's about annihilating you. It's about annihilating your seed. Your population drop. It's a much bigger global scale. That's what it's really about. It looks like it with some people. Then you're the first one. The next one's gonna get these other people, but they're gonna start with you first. They always start to make like the black man, the black woman example of everything, debauchery and everything. They'll use a certain part of it, and they want to kill off the rest. So make it so that they don't that the God that they serve ain't answering their prayers. The God that you serve that don't believe, don't love you. He has to look like them. He has to have his ideology. That's what this stuff is all about. I'm not just saying this. It's playing out. It's played out in the statistics. It played out in other arenas. It has shown his head. All you have to do is go to a website, the pop statistics, vitals and statistics, and see what the population of each state is going. Then you can break it down, because they love to break it. Since we like to break down nationalities, look how the nationalities. Look at the status and statistics. Now imagine the next 5, 10, 20 years. And so they use the image of you. They use the image as your sons, or someone look like your son, your male counterparts, to make you hate yourself, to despise yourself. That you want to give something to look like you. That's something that's deep wounded. That came from, and guess what? That came from the past. The CRT they don't want much about. They don't want to tell about how what Willie Lynch did. Get you to hate yourself. And probably before Willie Lynch, it's happened in Rome AD, when the Hebrews were put up under pressure, when the government came around and the children of Israel ran up into the tower. And the only thing they said the babies, either the women didn't want to be taken, so they would either kill and eat their babies or kill themselves. This what I'm saying, that this thing has gone from one end to the other over time. You are the people of the Bible. Black man, black woman. You are the people of the Bible. You don't see it. You've been told that your skin is a curse. You still believe that shit. Maybe that's why some of you use the N-word on one another. I'm just saying. They witchcraft you with the word that you believe that you believe in what you are. Not the way you say it lovingly, but the way they say it. And then it acts out. It goes into play because you stand in agreement with the word. Because words have life. Word has meaning. Word has power. That's a fact. And so after a while, you don't like each other. Black man, black woman don't like each other. You take each other out. And to the point that she gets known how emotionally, like all women do, don't even want to deal with her own seed. He get mad at black women, he take out his daughter. She get mad at the black man, she take out her son. This is happening. It's a curse. But before we do all that, kill the baby. Kill the baby, kill the destiny. Kill the destiny, kill annihilation. That's what's going on. And that's outside the womb. Same kind of murder that's inside the woman's womb. Her womb. The life. There are many women that wish that they can give life because they're mature enough to know when they give life, they give destiny. And when they leave this earth, they see their life is going to go on because they serve their purpose. And the seed going to represent them. It's going to serve he or she going to serve their purpose. That's what our mothers did, is the birth of our purpose. Physically. Some people don't have that much, so they got a spiritual mother. It's the birth of purpose. That's what it is. And God, the Most High God, honored that. He honored the birth that He put it in it, that the most greatest people came through the womb of a woman. And Satan tried to destroy him every time. Tried to destroy Jesus. He tried to destroy Moses. He just tried to destroy the Daniels, the Isaiahs, the Deborahs, you name it, through the womb, because they have a destiny. They have a destiny that God was carrying out. That baby in your womb has a destiny in the future. And I pray that someone will share this video and get the message to somebody. Your baby has a destiny. It don't matter what it looked like. If she lived outside the womb, there was a purpose for it. If she died inside the womb, unfortunately, things happen, but God can heal that trauma if you have a stillborn. Because it wasn't your fault. It was something that's medically. But in the meantime, that baby has a destiny. This is the message I want to give out. And I pray for the black man and black woman. You stand along with your counterparts and go against this mess. It was for you to take you out because the pigment of your skin and who you really are in the lineage. That's what it's about. And they hid that stuff from us. That's the truth. And they don't want this truth. They don't want the truth. They did everything to shut this down, to keep you thinking that you're like the animals that's at the circus. You're supposed to entertain us. You're not even human. It's the same mindset that this country carried over black people. That's a fact. You know, there's some people that's at a segment saying we're all human, there's a segment of people, but there are also a segment of people in high places that carry this mindset to this very day through generation and their lineage. That's a fact. And if anything, I'm a small voice in the wilderness. But I'm crying out because I see what's going on. And they see, and the people in the high places, some of them see what's going on too. They try and do the right thing, but they see that their lineage is going to be cut off if they're okay with abortion. That's why the states are rising up. That's why they're doing this. Yeah, and some people can argue about, these are the same politicians about, the other issue. I've heard that argument too. But this is for the destiny of this country. The destiny of the future citizens that's going to be born that's native to this land. That's what it's really about. You're about to get phased out by other people. They're going to take your birthright. Black people, they're going to take your birthright. They're going to take your lineage birthright. I'm trying to tell you, what legacy you going to leave to the next generation? What legacy are you going to leave? Because other people, they ain't going to take their lineage out. They know better. You is the one. You count. You better fight for your lineage. So my name is James, and that's what I'm spitting game, and that's the truth. All you have to do is get on. You don't believe me? Get on your knees and pray, and let God reveal it to you. hey, because it may be certain things I could be saying is right, and there could be certain things I could say is wrong. But you get it true for yourself. Don't just listen to me. He'll show you the truth is out there. He'll show it to you. That's all I gotta say. So hope you guys be blessed. Till next time, this is my second video, but this time I'm targeting black people with this same message. Take care. Be blessed.